this on the feed for those interested. Mexico's President Scheinbaum on oil shipments says Cuba has an open credit line and they make payments on it.
Good morning, guys. Oof. Sorry I wasn't here yesterday. I am not feeling great. See what happens as we push into our value lows here. Across the board. This is Russell into VWAP and ES and Q testing our edge here, seeing if we can flip back in or if this is going to hold offer.
In 5 minutes time now at 10:15 a.m. Eastern time, We are expecting US Treasury Secretary Bessent to appear before the House Committee on Financial Services. The live video for this is on the feed for those interested. In fact, the House Committee testimony has
I don't know
started.
if any of you want to
Just
watch
waiting for
that.
comments from Bessent now.
There it is. We're trying to recover our value lows right now. If we can hold these, then we can look for rotations up to POC, potentially. See if we can build here. We're looking for a buyer from like 170 to 200, basically. Any lower than that, then I'm not really interested. Yeah. See what we can do here. Good hold of our value edge on ES. Should be able to rotate up to POC. That's at least my idea here. See if we can do it. Yo. Bid still at 200s, no change. Huge bid off of 200s. Holy. Okay, taking off another there. I just instantly made $1,000 by buying 200. Okay. Oh, my stomach hurts so bad. Jesus.
So we're shortly expecting comments from Bessent, who again is appearing before the House Committee on Financial Services. The live video has started. It's on the feed. Just waiting for comments from Bessent now.
Lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. New 15s opening now. Wait, that's not true. Don't listen to me. $230 is 1-to-1 for the risk to reward here from trading off of 170 to 200. Rotation up to 244 to 265 is next target. That is your VWAP. And then full rotation will be to POC on the daily. What's up, club? Again, 230 is 1-to-1 risk to reward here, playing off of 200 to 170. 230 is first target. 245 to 265 is secondary target. If we can push over 265, we should be able to rotate up into 310, 320 area. We'll see. But the bid is still here into this 200.
Besant is now speaking at the House Committee on Financial Services. Says must avoid temptation of zero risk financial system.
Incredibly reactive bid still off of our 200. Full rotation back up to first target again. This is an insane range. Holy. I have 2 contracts left, and we're up almost $3,000 just playing off of 200. If that isn't a good risk to reward for you, I don't know what is. Again, this is first target. If you aren't taking off at 1-to-1, this is our target at 65s. We are now watching to see if we can flip. If we can, should be able to rotate up to POC here with the hold of our value low on both ES and NQ. And ES just hit POC already, right? In 49.50, but NQ has one more leg up potentially into 311, 344.
Fitch Ratings says Canada's consumer outlook remains soft as trade risks linger, and Fitch Ratings expects Canada's economic growth to slow to just 1.1% this year. We have put out the full piece from Fitch Ratings on the feed for those interested.
Again, like I don't really have much here until we can flip over the POC from our sell side. So that POC to value high is sitting from 304 to 354. That is our previous day value as well as our value high on today, right? So everything here to me is just kind of resistance. We would need to see a very clear flip. This is also our 30-second
In
opening
less than
range
5
low
minutes time now at the bottom of the hour, we're
316.
expecting the
So
weekly
a lot,
EIA inventories numbers.
A lot of
Crude
pivots.
oil inventories forecast is a draw of 0.639 million on the prior draw of 2.295 million. The range sees a build of 3.5 million to a draw of 4 million expected. Gasoline inventories forecast is a build of 0.755 million on the prior build of 0.223 million. Distillate inventories, the forecast is a draw of 1.081 million on the prior build of 0.392 million. Crude Cushing inventories, the prior was a draw of 0.278 million.
We hit the third target though. That's POC, a previous
Keep in
candle.
mind, last night we did see the release of
Incredibly
the
profitable
private
trade.
API stock change numbers, which showed a larger than expected draw in crude inventories of 11.1 million. Energy data in 1 minute. I'll lead with the EIA crude oil inventories. Ten seconds. A draw of 3.455 million, a draw of 3.455 million, lower than the expected draw of 0.639 million. Gasoline inventories, a build of 0.685 million, a build of 0.658 million, which is lower than the expected build of 0.755 million. Distillate inventories, a draw of 5.553 million, a draw of 5.553 million, lower than the expected draw of 1.081 million. And crude Cushing inventories, a draw of 0.743 million, a draw of 0.743 million. We have posted the US EIA weekly inventories report on the feed for those interested. Treasury Secretary Bessent says stablecoins could be important to the US government financing. EIA report that the US oil inventory has fallen by the most since 2016 amid the cold blast.
Cold blast. Stopped on last runner, under 170, watching to see if we flip back over 200 to try the same trade again, or if offer is going to flip this. We need to see if this buyer steps out of the way or not. Offer holding 170 so far. Again, watching to see if we now flip this pivot for rotations down, or if this is going to trap and then rotate up. Regardless, got him playing the edge until proven otherwise off of our flip. Value low is at 130, should be first target. What is this, dude? These hearings are the worst. Should be your first risk off, like I said before. Just into this like 133, 130, and then if we can push below this, then we'll have a continuation. But just take the 1-to-1 for right now. Off of the flip. Oh my god, this is so. Can you shut up? Is what you just said.
Trump on Truth Social says he's just finished a phone conversation with China's President Xi. Says it was a long and thorough call where many important subjects were discussed, including trade
See if we
and
flip 200s
military.
again. 230 is where the offer sits. Just flip 1-to-1.
They also discussed Taiwan, the Russia-Ukraine war, and the current situation with Iran, the purchase of oil and gas by China from the US, and the
This is first
consideration by
target.
China of the purchase of additional agricultural products. Trump says it was all very positive. The relationship with China and my personal relationship with Xi is an extremely good one.
See if we find a bid here, 200 to 170 off a flip. Remember, this was news-based, and we just rotated back up to VWAP and our first target. So we need to see if we're going to get a secondary buyer who steps in here again. If they don't, it is what it is. Well, we'll see. I'm taking off 1 into 260. And we're watching to see if we now find a reactive bid here again at 200 to 170 for rotations up, which so far, yes, we are. It's the same pivots as before. This rotation between 200 and 244, 265 is $600 on one contract. Full rotation is over $1,500. If you're trading micros, this is like $100 just into this 260. And then the full rotation will be like 200. Again, this is first target into 265.
US Secretary of State Rubio says if Iranians want to meet on Friday, then we're ready. The US-Iran talks location is still being worked on. And Rubio is saying that talks with Iran need to include missiles and the nuclear issue.
I did not. So, stopped below 170 and immediately it flipped.
China's President Xi to Trump says, "I'm willing to do more good and big things for the US and China relations." It's coming from Chinese state media. China's Xi to Trump says, "I attach great
News is coming
importance
out. Be
to
careful.
US-China relations."
This could easily pop back up if this news is bullish. I don't know. We'll see. Just playing the pivot for right now.
And Xi to Trump says, "We should handle our differences." That's Xi to Trump saying, "We should handle our differences properly."
ES still holding pivot sides. Both sides are still holding. No change. Watching to see if we put in a higher low.
And
NQ is
China
the only
Xi
thing
to
that's moving
Trump
off of
says
this
the
Xi
Taiwan
news.
issue is most important for China-US ties.
ES still holding our pivot. No problem. Makes me feel like we're probably going up, not down, if ES continues to maintain, and NQ is just showing a lower move, but I don't know. We'll see. Gonna have to wait for NQ to settle.
China Xi to Trump says the US should deal with Taiwan arms sales issues carefully.
Morning. Yeah, still holding our lower edge, no change. NQ trying to shift. This 170 seller is trying their hardest to flip us, but bid is still pretty present. If we step over 200s and show any interest, we probably rotate up, trapping these guys below 170. 170 can hold and
Soybeans are
ES
up
can
the most
continue to
since
push,
November
then
as
we're
Trump
probably going
says that
down.
China is to buy more.
I don't know. I mean, it's a big pivot. A lot of volume being traded here. Waiting on the rest of the market to figure out what it wants to do. If you're unwilling to play off of 30 points of risk, then you're going to have to wait. Besson interrupts all these guys. Jesus. And no one cares. Yes, bouncing our lower edge again. NQ still trying to build below our pivots, but with ES bouncing, it's going to be very hard to get a downside move. Mixed market. Back to our lows here. It's 1-to-1. See if we can get below or if we don't find another bounce. Again, this is 1-to-1 here, 133. You should take off your first risk. Let's see if we can break close and then leave a runner for continuation, or if we find a bounce here again. Oh my god. What is this? Dude, the house has to be the most useless part of our government now. Holy. Because they know they can just grandstand now. Our government is cooked. They're all just like smirking on the other side. You can see it. Because they know that this is useless. It's insane. Giving way too much power to the executive branch. There is no accountability. Insane. Pushing through our first target lows. If we can flip this, I think we have some room down to 0.20 to 25k flat, personally. And that would be my next target. ES following NQ now, so we have full market participation if we can flip this pivot on ES as well.
Senior Iranian
stop
official
stone.
says talks with the US and Oman will be only about nuclear and missile program. Excuse me, so that's talks with the US and Oman will only be about nuclear. The missile program is off the table.
Hopefully you guys are willing to play off of our 30 points of risk on NQ, our 170 to 200. It has given us insane moves on either side. Stopping out on that trade doesn't matter when our upside is, 60 points on the first target on either direction. Larger volatility, larger ranges equals larger size stops, right? It just is what it is. So you trade less size but get more points. That's the exchange. Yep. Do you use candlestick patterns? No, not at all. The only like candlestick pattern that I like care about really are like 3 bars, which isn't really a traditional candlestick pattern. Jesus. Besson has to be like the most smug person I've ever seen in my life. Holy.
AMD shares extend their decline to 16%, their biggest decline since 2018. The Nasdaq 100 extends declines to 1.5%, that's a session low.
You're playing off of 170. You're up over $2,000 per contract on your runner. If you're playing micros, you're up over $230 per runner over 170. I'd like to see this rotate up down to this 980-020 area, but I mean it's just downtrend and choppy, volatile nonsense. So we'll see what happens. ES needs to get below our 91050, which is that wick low off the 15. We'll see. I hate everyone. Holy, everyone is awful at the house. Oh, I hate politicians. God, I'll lose my mind. I lose my mind. see if we flip here. Our offer was sitting at 100s. We're now seeing if the bid is willing to hold off the look above for a reversal here, or a rotation back up to our 170 offer, or if this is going to trap and then offer 100s again and then rotate down. Just keeping an eye on it, seeing if we're going to get this flip and then hold for rotations up, or if this traps and then offers below. New 15s have opened. Need to get over this 130 if we're going to go up, or offer is going to sit there, trap these guys, and then rotate us back below previous candle's value low, back down to POC. Offer still holding 130, no change. Still rotating between our 100 and 130. Need to see if we can build here, see that bid step up, or if this is going to fail. Again, if we push below this 100, I'm expecting rotations back down to 70 to 50 for a retest of this buyer below. Back to POC, previous candle off of the failure to get over 130. Into POC again, like I said before, of our previous candle. Need to flip this 50 to 70 for anything more. We need to see a very clear reoffer, or we expect chop here between 130 and our 070 on NQ.
Ukraine's Umarov says today's meetings in Abu Dhabi were productive. As a reminder, the US had trilateral meetings with Russia and Ukraine, as well as a bilateral meeting with just Ukraine today.
What is this guy talking about? Is he drunk?
Essence says dual Fed mandate is very delicate balance.
One minute until new 15s. We're trying to flip this first target here back up to 170 to 200. We have, again,
Besant
50
says the Fed
seconds
lost
until new
people's trust when
15s.
inflation ravaged the nation.
POCs, the last two candles are into that low at 50 to 70. Buyers still present down there. We are watching to see if we can start to build a right side of V. There's no reason to be impatient here. We're watching to see if that was our low, and we can now solidify that for rotations back up, trapping these guys into these lows. Again, our POCs are below us. We are waiting 25 seconds to see if we can flip this pivot and build a higher low that we can then play off of. There has been no right side of V as of yet, but we do have a buyer down here. We are watching to see if we can get back into our previous range, or if this is going to trap above on open of new 15 and then rotate down. New 15's opening now. I still have yet to see anything that I want to be playing off of for the long side. If we can build here and flip our 130s and start to show interest over that POC, maybe. But this just looks like chop and a continuation down to me so far. until proven otherwise. So just keep that in mind that we'll see what happens. But on the new 15s, like there's really not much here. We went right to our first target on ES, found it at bed, great, but we've got to flip back over our pivot for this to really matter. We are attempting, but this could easily be a trap if we can't show that interest above. Again, we have no right side of V. There is nothing letting us know yet that buyers want to continue buying up. It's just a rotation back up to our previous seller. So don't get caught in the chop just trying to catch the low without confirmation. Nothing has confirmed. Literally nothing. Use your brain, right? Like, don't get emotional. We have not seen anything yet to give us a great long trade yet, right? We've only seen risk offs, and we've are waiting for the validation for the upside. Right now, we have sell side trying to hold a lower high. We are still in our overall downtrend from our seller, where we identified at that 300 to 350. We have seen the lower highs being put in ever since, right? Just because we had an equal high does not mean we're going up. We need to see more. If we can see that flip and bid off of our pivot and show interest above, then we can look up. Until then, right? Like, this is still where the offer is sitting, and we are still seeing that seller push price down back to this this bid who's absorbing down here into these lows. I hope that is clear. There's nothing else to really talk about until we see something new, which we have not yet seen. So don't get chopped up when there has been no confirmation of anything other than the downside persisting and, you know, consolidation before next leg. Can that change? Yeah, for sure, right? But have we seen anything to tell us that that is going to change? No. Back down to our value low previous candle off of a hold of our new 15s, POCs as resistance above. Just rotating back down. This is value low previous candle on ES as well as NQ. So this is, of course, going to be your first risk off if you're playing off of our pivot from our 100s for 40 points. If we can flip this, I'm still looking for a rotation down. We'll see what happens. Back down to our pivot here again.
Treasury Secretary Bessent says, "We're not pursuing financial deregulation at any cost."
Back down to our lows here on NQ. ES trying to make a lower high, but still no real movement. Watch to see if we can flip this for the rotation down to 020 to 980, or if this is going to hold once again. This is our value low from our previous candle, we need to flip this pivot and show interest below. Yeah, I don't really have anything. It's just a box that we were trading in a downtrend overall from our original short. See if we can see sell side show interest below this. I'd like to see ES follow through ideally with it if we're going to do anything new.
According to a filing, major automakers want changes to the Trump administration fuel economy proposal, but supports the plan to drastically reduce stringency. And Besant repeats that he always supports a strong dollar policy.
Getting a little volatile down here. I haven't seen the data. It's crazy. I love that they can just say that. This is first target here into 020. I have now risked off from 170. I am now just in 100 to 130 secondary here. See if we can get that 080 or if this is all we get. Into our target. Again, this area is target. If you have the ability to hold for more, I don't think that there's anything wrong with that, but I expect a bit of a volatile bid here into 980 to 25K. I don't know if that's going to result in, a full rotation up, but I do expect that this to be our pivot for a bit as we push down into this. New 15s in 3 minutes. Yes, next target is 901 for me. 1 minute until new 15s. Again, pushing into 980 to 25K. I think that this area will be volatile. I don't really have much else to say. I would just either take profits as we push down into this or move stops down a bit more aggressively. If you wanted to try to keep playing this, understand that I do expect this area to be a bit volatile. Is that going to mean that we're, get a bid that then rotates us up, maybe to here, and then continues us down? Maybe, right? Like, I don't know, but I do expect a bit of a bid into the new 15s around here. We'll see what happens. ES the next target here at 901. Below this, we'll look for 884. $20 till new 15s. Again, just as we push into the new 15s, I expect a bit of volatility on the bid side. If we don't see that, then we're going to get a much more aggressive sell if there isn't a buyer here willing to try to pop this again.
Gold falls nearly 1%. According to a survey, OPEC output fell last month on Venezuela turmoil.
What? That's crazy.
Treasury Secretary Besant says the
Yep.
spread of mortgages versus treasuries is the lowest in years.
NVIDIA is just melting. Just like a straight channel down right now.
Treasury Secretary Besant hints at an eventual Fannie Freddie conservatorship end. The BLS says that it will release the December job openings and labour turnover reports on February the 5th.
We'll watch for a secondary bid here if we're going to go up. If not, this is just a reoffer of our pivot. Into our supply here.
The BLS has rescheduled the January employment report for February the 11th.
See if we find a bid here at 25k to 080, or if this is going to hold and then rotate back down. 3.5 minutes until new 15s. ES trying to recover above previous day value low. Offer still holding. Just watching to see if this buyer who's sitting here at 80 is going to do anything, or if this is nothing. Good higher low and flip of our pivot. Rotating up to first target here into 030. This is our supply here. Need to flip this for more, for full rotation back up to our 52. Just watch to see how we interact here as we push into this supply. Yes, also flipped our pivot back up. $40 seconds till new 15s. Our pivot above is 50 to 70. We need to flip it for really anything new. Once we can get back over this pivot, then we should be able to rotate back up to our previous target, which is that 110, 140 area. This is just POC of that candle. That's why 50 makes sense. See what we do. New 15s.
US Trade Representative says US and Mexico consulting on how price floors could be included in the plurilateral agreement on trade in critical minerals. The US and Mexico announced a plan to develop a coordinated trade policy to mitigate vulnerabilities in critical mineral supply chains. The USTR say they're working to develop a coordinated trade policies on critical minerals and plurilateral deals with like-minded countries. The action plan with Mexico is an important step to strengthen bilateral cooperation as the review of the USMCA trade deal. In a joint statement, the US and the EU will sign a memorandum of understanding in the next 30 days to boost critical mineral supply chain security as well. A joint statement with the US, Japan, and the EU announced a strategic partnership to strengthen the resilience of critical mineral supply chains. So the US and Mexico are to explore border-adjusted price floors for critical minerals imports over the next 60 days. And the US and the EU will identify and support projects in mining, recycling, processing, and refining.
Into target here, again, 50 to 70. Nothing really else here until we can flip this bit over 70s. Then we can look up into our previous offer.
The BLS say that the January CPI report is to be released on February 13th.
So this is just that volatility that I expected, again, just down at that 980 area. It went down a little bit further than I wanted, of course, but like this is the volatility on the higher time frame that I was expecting. We can see that our POC of previous candle is sitting 970 and that the value of that candle is at 990. That this is the pivot. It's just our target from on the way down. I want you to see, like, the way that I took this is that we flipped our pivot, and that's like when we flipped long. I didn't take full profit, right? Like, I didn't play it all the way down. I played to target into our 25K. I waited for a reaction. Again, I was expecting volatility here. And then we flipped back over, and where I took my profits, I then took a long off of that for rotations back up. If we can rotate up through our pivot here, we should be able to then play it back up into this offer that's sitting here, into this 130, again, which is where we were playing for first target for the 1-to-1. So my 1-to-1 is just going to continue to be where I'm looking as our pivot, right? Previous buyer is where our seller sits now. Previous buyer is where, previous seller, where this push down is where our buyer is sitting now, right? It's like the same flip. And we're now watching this as our offer below the 70 to 25K, basically. We'll see if we can hold above, or if this is going to fail here and then rotate back down and then offer. I don't have an answer for you. All I see is that we're still in our downtrend, right? And we're just playing into our pivot. I think if we can flip this, then we go up to PVZ here and we test into our value edge. But as of right now, right, like we're holding our reversion zone as resistance right now, and these previous buyers are offsides, right, our sell, right? So we're just watching to see if we can flip this and get back into this range or not. See if we can build out a higher low, or if we're going to need more. I don't know. On the higher time frame, we're still holding where we need to, which is POC to value high of previous candle, but we're selling into POC of our big downside mother bar. Need to see more if we're going to get more. ES traded right into our POC of our downside candle, right? So it's the same thing on NQ and ES. We pushed into our seller. Now we're watching to see if we can build out a higher low here for a potential right side of V, which would be another 15-minute candle, right? Right now it's just a range. If we can see a higher low build on the next 15 and continue to maintain above 70, that would be an amazing sign of a potential reversal happening. If we can't see buyers be able to, defend and hold this 70 to 90 area, or 25K, whatever you want to call it, for the next 7 minutes and build out a higher low, that's a pretty bad sign, right? Then it's just like a consolidation and then another leg down. So we'll see what happens. But we're holding so far where we need. We're now just watching to see if a bid is present or not above, again, this value high to POC of previous candle. Can we continue to find a bid here? Can we start to make that right side of V for that upside? Or is this just a reversion to our mother bar sell side candle? Right, which would just be a reversion and then a continuation down. So we'll see. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say. Like, we just don't know yet. We're playing zone to zone. Damn. Bro just said I'm disappointed. Oh Lord. Just back to our bid. Again, this is where that buyer was at R70. This is POC to value high of our previous candle. So far reacting positively. Same thing on ES here at our 902. This is just 80-hour low. On ES, this is our value high to POC of our previous candle. We have we have nothing here other than chop, right? We have a rotation between our two POCs, POC of our upside candle, as well as our downside mother bar. We are watching to see if we can continue to maintain here. If we can, then we'll look for that rotation above and then the build. Until then, it is another range, just like this, a range for another downside leg. Is there potential here for upside to play? Definitely, right? But right now you have two edges. You can try off of either of them. We're watching to see if these guys are going to continue to be offsides below. But understand that you are trading into this seller that is sitting here. If we can flip said seller and then rotate up and get back inside value, then we can look for more for the upside. But the overall downside is still intact. Again, we are just playing this rotation right now. We need to see this flip and rotate back up if we are going to start to rotate up into our big pivot, our 170, where we took our original short. Again, this is our sell side mother bar where we pushed down from our first target. We are watching to see what we do now. Again, we are holding a higher low. We are holding where we need to based off a previous candle, and we are rotating back up. But there is nothing new until we can flip and hold above. These guys are still off sides. We have shown interest above, but we need to flip and hold for anything more. Once we get back inside value, there will be more opportunities. Right now, again, we are rotating in between this POC and this POC. I hope that is clear. Nothing has changed. We have 20 seconds until new 15s.
Russell 2000 index is down 1.2%.
Holy. This is his first gotcha. Into POC here, R70. Let's see if we find the bid and can get back over 90s or if offer sticks.
Besant says, I was mistaken when I said that tariffs were inflationary.
He's getting a little caught up in these last couple questions. These have been good. Before he was destroying them. This is previous day value low on ES and our pivot here. POC of this candle is sitting at 96.75. ES POC has been taken. We have held a lower high after rotating up. POC opened, held POC to value high of our previous candle, rotated down. We're now watching to see if we can flip the 70 to 90 on retest. I expect a bit of volatility with ES still maintaining above. Once this gets below again, we should be able to see another leg down. Again, this is just chop
Best says
between
that
our
tariff
two
inflation
pivots
was the dog
while
that
we
didn't
wait.
bark.
Expecting a bit of volatility here on NQ is what I'm trying to get at, but downside is still intact. No upside. Rotation has been confirmed. And sell side continuation after our failure to push higher. Again, the trend has not changed. Nothing has changed. We continue downward.
According to an Axios reporter on X, the nuclear talks were cancelled on Friday due to the Iranians' refusal to engage in non-nuclear issues. Strength in WTI crude here is once again an Axios reporter on X notes that the nuclear talks were cancelled on Friday due to the Iranians' refusal to engage in non-nuclear issues.
Jesus. The bickering.
So meanwhile, it's picking up now from Axios that plans for the Iran nuclear talks are collapsing.
Huge volatility down here.
We have put out the article from Axios on the feed for those interesting. So again, the US told Iran today that it will not agree to Tehran's demand to change the location and format of talks planned for Friday, according to two US officials telling Axios. Again, Axios noting that plans for Iran nuclear talks are collapsing, citing US officials.
Again, I want to point out that we've had no right side of V. Everything has just been a short continuation, like we've talked about. Again, it's just consolidation for another leg down until we see that right side of V. And if you have that mentality, it's going to be very hard for you to take big L's today because the chances statistically that we're going to continue going down without a right side of V is very high, right? So you're pretty well, like as long as you're not trying to counter trend trade and you're following your rules, right? Like it can be a pretty easy day for you. Yeah, is there volatility? Yeah, for sure. Is every reoffer just another rotation down? Yes, right? So as long as you're stopping yourself from trying to look for large upside rotations, and you're not just allowing yourself to just play trend down and reoffers, right? Like you just need to get out of your own way and follow and accept trend, right? Like that's literally all I'm saying. Until right side of V is confirmed and we're holding POCs of previous candles, and actually have follow through, there's really not a lot here. Can you play bounces off of previous sellers like we did before? Yeah, for sure. But your targets have to be realistic, right? Your targets have to be realistic. Are we flipping and playing up to our previous seller? Yeah. But that's it, right? And then it's just watching to see what we do. It's a range until proven otherwise. And once we break our low of our range and break where our previous buy was, then you got to play it down because trend is still intact. Nothing has changed. We've now talked about this multiple times today. We've looked for a continuation up. It's failed on every attempt, and we've put in lower highs, and then we've rotated down. If you're not taking advantage of that, that's on you. I don't know what else to say. Right, trend is continuing down. First buys have been good. Secondary buys have been bad. Yeah, I don't know. And it's a trend down. Allow these rotations to play. Watch these failures. Failure to shift above and failure to hold our lows equals a reoffer and a continuation. Right, our trend is still continuing down. If you're still struggling with this concept, you need to write out the rules, put them in front of your face, and have the physical list that you go through and say, has trend changed? What are the factors that need to be here for me to play trend change? If I missed the first bounce off of the reoffer or the rebid, right? Like, what do I need to see for this to have validity for a secondary move? Don't do anything else other than that. Right? You need to have your list in front of you if you're missing opportunities because you're getting emotional and you think that there isn't more that can happen. The way that I do it is that I just let shit play, right? Like you can see off of the trade that I just posted, I got stopped out. I tried to play the 90 to 70 again, right? Off of the initial test, we got our bounce. I played it. I tried to play it again. It didn't work. I stopped below 70s and then made my offer then flipped, right? 70 to 90 flipped, and then we're playing it down. Are there our pivot holds or it doesn't, right? Like it is what it is. I give myself a set amount of risk. I play said risk. Sometimes we get stopped. Sometimes we don't. Money is made. Be mechanical. That's literally what trading is. It's just it's a game of R&R, right? I mean, there's nothing, we don't control the market movement, right, Michael? Like we have no say. So what we can do is create systems, right, that give us the highest probability for profit, right, based off of our risk. And so we find levels, we find areas that we find that that have solid R&R, and then we play the R&R. We don't play for the monetary value, we play for the RR. We play for things that are going to be, you know, smaller risk for larger reward. We find areas and we play around them, you know? Yeah, if we're wrong, we're wrong. It's a part of it. Who cares? We know that we have a win rate that is higher than 50%, and so we will make money. I think that's literally that is it. My win rate is more so around like 70 to 80%, so our profit is pretty much guaranteed if you are playing proper RR. Right? But even with a 55 or a 51% win rate, even with 50% win rate, you would be making money because we have a positive RR. So even if you were winning and losing, right, half your trades, you would still be profitable because we don't have a 1-to-1 risk to reward that we're playing off of, or a negative risk to reward, right? We don't have 2 risk for 1 reward. We have a 1-to-1 or like a 1-to-3, or a 3-to-1. Like there, at no point are we ever skewing into a negative risk to reward territory where we're risking more than we're willing to take. Yeah. So like it's just one of those things where you just have to accept that like losses happen, and as long as you're not over leveraging, like you will make money over time. Like it's one of those things where you have to accept it. If you're still scared of like the monetary value, you're probably trading too much size. You're not willing to risk, have a willingness to lose.
Says,
It's going to be
I
very
think
hard
we
to
can
gain.
continue to see the 10-year yield tick down with a narrow deficit. It reduces competition for funds.
We're basically at next target here into 811. I think we have one more leg down on ES. I just don't know how volatile it's going to be here. We'll see. I mean, this is now a $3,000 trade from just a flip of our pivot. So getting stopped for, $400 doesn't matter when we're up $3,000 on our runner. Who cares? You got a target? I mean, like, this is target for me. I just closed. But you can just move stops down if you have more than one. Man, it's a downtrend, bro. So, like, until that invalidates, you can just hold. But this is target for me. I think we go for the VPOC and that liquidity on ES, but I think that you could get maybe another reoffer a bit higher first. I think we go for this VPOC though on ES. I don't know what that's, like the journey that it's going to be to get there. Again, like downtrend's still intact. We hit target on NQ. We'll see if we get more here, but like I don't know. See if we get one more leg down here. Again, I think ES says one more leg. I just don't know how much of a bounce we're gonna get, but nothing has changed on the higher time frame. I'm personally risked off, just securing gains, and then hope that a new trade sets up later on. I don't care. Yeah, I am. Hard not to be with the risk that we're playing. I mean, our first like 3 trades of the day today netted like $1,000 in the first 15 seconds each. just playing off of our 70 from our first pivot. I mean, this was insane risk to reward. Getting stopped here a couple times was meh, but like then it just played it down offer wise. It's whatever.
So in terms of the market reaction to this Axios report, we did see strength in WTI oil. It's just worth noting that the reaction in oil started before the Axios article came out. We think this could be thanks to an Axios reporter on X, who, before the release of the article, did note that there were big things coming at Axios. So potentially a preemptive move by the markets here.
Listen, this is exactly what I was just talking about. Like on average, our RR is about 70 to 80% on a daily basis today. With our pivots that we're playing off of, risk rise, like
the Nasdaq
I really want to show
declines,
this.
last down
Like, this
2.2%.
is very important. Like we're just playing our pivots and we're trusting the process. Yes? What is our win rate today? Yeah. What's our profit today? Does it matter? No, because we're trusting it. It's mechanical. It doesn't matter. Who cares? Playing pivots. Yeah, like it's but like as long as your risk is fine, it doesn't matter. It's when you guys need to realize like you can be incredibly profitable with a 50% win rate. Incredibly profitable. The reason you're not is because you're over leveraging. Or you're trading a negative risk to reward. Right? If your risk to reward is you're risking 2 for 1 profit and then you don't stop out, or you're risking 3 for 1 profit, you're gonna be always negative. It's going, you need you would not understand that. If you're letting runners your losers run, but you're not letting your runners win, it is going to be almost impossible for you to be profitable. Almost impossible. You would have to have like a 99% win rate for that to be even a viable strategy. If not, you're going to always be negative. It just is what it is. If you're risking 3 for 1, that doesn't make sense. If we're always risking 1 for 1 or 1 or 3, sorry, 1 for 3, right? Like we're always going to be profitable. We don't need to have a 70 or 80% win rate. So if I am trading here and we're buying this and we have a 30-point stop and I get stopped here and then we flip, this is a profitable trade. Maybe we cut out a lot of these gains by stopping on this. That's okay though, because it invalidated it and I won't get a bigger move down. Same thing here. It's like we can play this. We can get stopped out here. This doesn't matter because overall we know where we're headed and we're allowing it to be.
Like
I
fully ready
just
to hold
I don't know.
talks with the US only on the nuclear issue.
Like I really like you need to recognize that you are in your own way. Almost coming down to target here, guys. See what happens. Offer getting a bit heavy at 810. Watch to see if we get a solid reoffer and then maybe another leg down, break of lows. I still like ES into this VPOC here. But we'll see. A10 offer holding. A10 is now offered 30
Politico
points.
reports that US House Speaker Johnson plans to meet with Trump this afternoon.
Why don't you create a knowledge base, either video or text, teaching every aspect of your trading style, and if they have any questions, they can always refer to that, and also general common sense. Guess what? We do. It's in the Discord. We have a full education breakdown and video for video of our trading strategies, teaching price action, volume profile, footprint, DOM, as well as individual strategies. We have everything. Yeah, you have to be a subscriber, but you just watch my stream 3 days a week and get the same information, just at a much slower rate. These are all lessons. These are all lessons. We also have Crash Course with all of the videos that you need to learn. We also have breakdowns per section, trade reviews, footprint, everything is here. Everything. All right, what are we doing again? Well, we are chopping at our next target, just like we talked about. Downtrend still intact. Nothing to really write home about yet. POC is below us currently on both ES and NQ after a touch into our liquidity zone. Finding a bit of a reprieve. We're watching to see how much we're going to get from this offer still intact above. Nothing really to talk about other than a range that we're forming here. Let's see how we build this out. We have 4.5 minutes on this candle. Again, we've bounced off of our liquidity on ES, allowing for this little bit of a reprieve on NQ and ES and RTY, right? We'll watch to see if this is becoming a low or if it's just another consolidation for another leg down. Again, no right side of V as of yet, just chop. But POCs are below us, which is a good first sign. Now we have to watch to see if we can build off of that, or if this is just going to be choppy garbage, and then rotation back up, and then an offer that pushes us further down, trapping these guys here. NQ liquidity is really poor right now for some reason. There's only like 4 contracts per price point right now. It's like 1/3 of the liquidity from before. Just keep that in mind. Sweeping through these levels is there's a lot of potential for that with how illiquid each price point is. If someone steps in, we are trying to hold and maintain our buyer from where our seller was previously at the top of this value high on both ES and on NQ. We are trying to build above these pivots. We'll see what happens. Again, it is just our value high of this range, trying to maintain a supportive to rotate back up. Nothing is confirmed yet, right, for the higher time frame, but on the shorter time frame, there is a very clear pivot here of where we're trying. The offer is showing width size at 74 above on NQ. Again, the DOM has become pretty illiquid.
President says, I have no opinion if the president can remove the Fed governor for policy.
Passes, man. These people are so slimy. 40 seconds till new 15s. New 15s opening here, 15 seconds. See if we can hold above POC of previous candle. So far, that looks very possible. Holding our value high so far. New 15s have opened. Very volatile into the open of this candle. Jesus.
Russian Foreign Ministry on expiring New START arms treaty says Russia has not received a formal response from the US. And Russia adds that Russia is ready to take decisive military technical countermeasures to counter potential additional threats to national security. Adding, we assume that the parties to the agreement are no longer bound by obligations and symmetrical declarations.
Into POCs here, previous candles, so on ES and on NQ, watching to see if we find a bid or if this is going to flip.
Also, Russia's foreign ministry says we assume that we and the US are no longer bound by central quantitative indicators under the treaty and are free to choose their next steps.
Holy, this is such a stupid house hearing. Got a slight bounce off POC, but not an incredible reaction as of yet. Need a bit more clarity on if upside is going to be
Russia's
maintained
foreign
or if
ministry
offer
says they
is
remain
back
open,
into.
seeking ways to stabilize the strategic situation on the basis of equal dialogue.
If offer is going to hold lower highs here. Just watching. Again, no confirmation on right side of V. We are trying to maintain above POCs of previous candles. But we are back into our ranges here. And if offer is able to hold these lower highs and continue us, then we'll have to rotate back down to lows first before we can figure out what we want to do. Very choppy. Just another consolidation before either a next leg down or an actual right side is confirmed. Again, we are maintaining a higher low off of our participant who is offsides below our pivot, but we need to see a break and a flag actually, happen here and rotate back up to a higher pivot. We did bounce our POCs of previous candles, but we haven't been able to really get much off of that so far. A bit more of a reaction now, but still just back into our original offer here at 880 on NQ. So we'll see if we get more or if POC is still just going to be like a reactive level, and then we're still just gonna hit our heads right into our offers above. I don't know. I don't have the answer. We haven't confirmed right side of V yet. All we've done is bounce POC of previous candle, which again is a good first sign, but it's that's it.
Nvidia shares dropped over 1 month low, last down 3.8%.
Pushing into wick highs here on NQ, taking it out. Same thing on ES, into wick highs. It's our value high previous candle on ES. Again, just bounce POC on the lows. RTY is still maintaining higher lows. See if we can get a bit more, but still downtrend is intact on the higher time frame. See if we can continue to build this out and get over the supply, start to build higher, or if offer is just going to be here and then we're not going to get a ton. Don't have all the answers for you yet. Nothing's been confirmed. Again, just a good bounce off of our POC of previous candle. That's all the information that we have. Just this is holding right now, right? POC. POC. Back to our bounce here. This is POC of previous candle. Again, we have not broken down trend. We are just rotating back into our previous seller. We're watching to see if this flips.
Fall to over 2-month low. Last down 4.3%.
We'll watch to see if our bid flips offer here. Again, this is POC of previous candles. We're watching to see if we hold our previous bounce point as now our resistance on the look below, or if nothing changes. We need to break lows for continuation, or we're just trapped into this rotation. Again, there's just really not much here. 4.5 minutes left. See if we can hold this sweeper that we just did above us, continue down, flip below our 800s, or if that's going to maintain. Unsure.
Dow 10's negative. Last down 0.1%.
Sweeper above still holding, no change, but just back to our POC in mid of range here. Watching to see again if this offer above, this sweeper that just pushed us bound, the aggressive sell, is going to be able to maintain. And we can put in a lower high here. Again, same bounce as before, but we're watching to see if this offer above holds, and then if we can continue down. 2.5 minutes until new 15s, still just ranging. Nature magazine. Pushing into our sweeper from before, 40 seconds till new 15s. Hopefully this gives us a new opportunity. Same bounce point as before on both ES and NQ. It's just POC of previous candle, still maintaining it, no change. No flip below, no ability to offer below, right? It's just a range. We're still just maintaining here. We're watching to see if anything changes into the new 15, which happens again in 30 seconds. Russell starting to potentially lead down. Let's see if it can get some follow through here. Again, nothing has validated a long or a short for the higher time frame yet. We are consolidating. It is an inside candle on the 15-minute. We are holding above POC still from our lows, but we have not been able to show
very
any
important, and we can't be opaque.
We haven't been able to.
Risk transfers are very important. They can't be opaque.
We haven't been able to show any sort of break above or interest above, nothing, right? Like it's still very just choppy. It's still a range. We are still within an inside candle. Again, like we are still within our sell of our inside candle here, and we have created now 3 inside candles off of our sell side. Same thing on ES. It is a inside candle. We are holding POC, but we've been able to do nothing to the upside with it, right? Sell side is still sitting above us. It is consolidation before another leg down until proven otherwise. We haven't seen a good trap yet. The only trap that we did see was playing off of these offers that were here for the higher bid for the initial move up. Now that the initial move up has played, we need to rely on secondary buyers to show that there's still that interest
18
there,
counterparties,
which they really haven't done yet.
At Fed Reverse Reappropriation.
They're holding so far, right? But there's no interest, right? It is lackadaisical, right? It's unwilling to really gain any momentum, right? It just comes back up to our previous offer, and then it slaps itself back down, and then we continue to chop. So until that changes, right, like you don't really have anything to play around other than trying either the edge here, which is our pivot, or our offer above, or the break below, and then the hold, right? Like, because the overall trend is still intact. This is why I've kept this channel on all today. It's not because I care about these edges, but I want you to see the overall trend is still to the downside, right? Like, there's nothing has changed about that. It's an inside candle. Is there a buyer here currently trying? Yeah.
Shares fall 4.6%.
Yes, there is. Have we been able to do anything with that buyer other than the initial bid? No, right? Like it's just chop. Just because there's a buyer here doesn't mean that, you know, we go up forever from now on. We need to watch to see if this buyer is going to be able to maintain, and if secondary buyers start to step in, and if there's anyone who's offsides that we can play around. Our sweeper is still maintaining as where the offer sits, right? We're still maintaining this aggressive sell down. We tried to push up into it, our stacked rebid reversal line held, and we're just back down to our bid here. If we can flip below and then offer this, then I'll look for that next downside leg. Until then, right, this just feels really choppy here. I need to see a continued offer, try to maintain the lower high here into our sweeper from the downside, and then show that interest below, and then defend this edge as offer if we're going to head down. Until then, it just feels, again, like chop. Consolidation before next leg. But we'll see. Again, buyer is below us. That is very clear. We need to see a flip of this POC to value low that we just put in from our last candle. Show that as our offer. Sell side is still sitting above
According
us.
to sources aware of the matter, French President Macron's top diplomat was in Moscow on Tuesday for talks with Russian officials.
What happens when this buyer steps out of the way and the offer is able to maintain, right? Like that's basically what we're asking ourselves. Russell leading down, just like we talked about. We'll see if we get that follow through now or if there's nothing new. Coming back down into our lows now. We are still inside candling. POCs are still maintaining the same position. There is no change in anything. It is just consolidation again before either another leg down off of a failure to build above, or it's going to be the start of our reversal. But we haven't confirmed either direction yet, right? Until proven otherwise, our trend is still intact for downside. We're just waiting for the rest of the market to figure out what it wants to do. I don't know how long this chop is going to last. I have no clue. I cannot tell you. No one can tell you. There is nothing to do other than either play the edges or wait for a break of the range. Hold of our lows, no change, rotation up, 5 minutes left on this candle.
Quote time money net US money market fund assets up $40.32 billion for the week ended February 3rd.
Into our supply here and our wick high of our inside candle. We'll watch to see if we can push above these or if we continue to maintain our range. Again, no change, no right side of V as of yet, just a holding of our lows and POC to value, but no confirmation that we want to breach outside of this. If you did buy POC to value low, this is a great first risk off. If we can maintain up here and show interest at higher on the new 15, then maybe we get a right side of V. Again, this is the top of our inside candle. What is HUT 8? What does that mean? Is that like a crypto? Like what I don't know what that is. HUT 8.
Besson says we're very focused on China money laundering organizations.
I don't know, man. Is that the ticker? Like what? What's the ticker? HUT is the ticker? Okay, I don't understand why you put an 8. I mean, we can look. immediate sell from our wick high, pushing back down, offer still maintaining above. Again, it is just an inside candle range still from our previous 15. I'll look at HUT in a second, man. I'm busy, but yes, I will. I mean, it doesn't look good. That's my first impression. We'll see. That sweeper that just happened from 20 to 40 is interesting. Let's see if we can do anything with it. I mean, I don't really know, man. I mean, it looks awful. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what this is. If it's a Bitcoin miner, it doesn't move. The same way as like I would look at it like another stock. You can see that like it's pretty, it just moves with Bitcoin. So if you believe in Bitcoin, then you believe in HUT. You get me? But like it literally just moves with Bitcoin.
US restarts uranium recovery operations in South Carolina.
So the blue line is Bitcoin. That's why it's like it's very hard for me to say anything because like this movement is just based off of crypto. It's a miner, right? So it makes money when Bitcoin is making money, and it's going down because Bitcoin's going down. So if you think that Bitcoin's going to find a low soon, then HUT is probably worth it. But with Bitcoin being either sideways or down as of late, it's in this rotation. I don't know. I mean, it's a Bitcoin miner, you know? It's moving with it. 20 to 40 holding offer still, rotating down, another sweep. We held our sweeper. We're holding that offer, and we're rotating back down into our buyer that's down here off of holding our inside candle high. Do you guys see what I mean by that? Like, does that make sense to you? Like, I want to make sure that why that risk off made sense is like we have no break, we have no upside confirmation as of yet. It's just this inside candle high on both ES and NQ. We're rotating back down to where our bid was before. Let's see if we get more. But we held our sweeper. The sweeper that I'm referring to is just this seller that stepped in from this position at our inside high, wick high, right? And then swept price below. We then maintained our offer here at our 20 to 40, which was that sweeper that then rotated us down for another leg back down to our buyer. So we'll see if we get any more. But I don't know. I mean, it's still an inside range, right? It's just a bear flag for a continuation down as of right now. I don't know. We're still holding POC of previous candle. Sorry, of our previous candles, right? Like these areas below us. But the POC of our last candle is above into this high. So we'll see. I don't have an answer. All I know is where our edges were, and then playing off of that seller for the continuation. Yeah, I don't know. Still just maintaining this inside candle. It's more of a long-term hold for me. Yeah, so if you believe in Bitcoin, then you believe in HUT, right? Like that's how they're gonna make money. If Bitcoin miners aren't right, like they mine Bitcoin, so if Bitcoin has to be going up for the value to go up, or it's not a great business model. So that's why you see them move pretty in sync with how Bitcoin's moving. So if you think Bitcoin is going to find a low soon, then you know, you can use it as a vehicle for Bitcoin movement. But I can't give you like a supply and demand level on HUT because it moves based off of crypto, and crypto's a scam. So I can't tell you anything. Yeah, I'm gonna head out here soon. We'll see. Maybe one more move. When all the characters are out, I think I'll play Deadlock. Because I know that they're gonna do like hot patches after every character, right? So it's just gonna be like me not being able to play anyone that I want, and everyone else still like trying to one trick all the new people, and then me playing Kelvin. So it's like, okay. Like until I'm actually able to get the new people, it's not really worth playing because I already know that it's just gonna be me one tricking support and being mad without the, you know, playing anyone I actually want. TFT? Maybe. I don't know, man. Video games have not been it. Yeah. It's good for like 2 weeks. Minecraft's a good 2-weeker. And then it's like, all right, well, what do I do now? You want me to trade 10-year future notes? Why? Why do you want me to trade in 10-year future notes? Or are you talking about zinc futures? Which one? Either way, I'm not trading it. Listen, you pick one instrument that you like to trade, and then you trade that thing. And then you don't look at anything else. People who trade T notes only trade T notes. People who trade NQ only trade NQ. People who trade gold only trade gold. People who trade oil only trade oil. You become an expert in the price action, right? The DOM, the order flow of that instrument. You understand how it works, and then you just trade that thing. You don't really see people trading all the things anymore, especially with futures. You become an expert in like one specific thing, and then you trade that thing. So I don't know anything about T-notes. I know literally nothing about how it moves, its price action. I just don't know anything. I've never traded it. So I'm not going to act like I know how to trade it. So I can't really help you. I've literally never done it. So I'm not gonna act like I know anything about it. I trade NQ and I trade ES. And occasionally oil. Yeah, no, it's what you do. You trade one thing. And some days there are going to be trades and some days there aren't, right? And that's okay. I think trying to find something that interacts in an environment where like NQ doesn't get great movement could be good. So maybe like adding gold to your repertoire, something like that. When like metal markets are moving, tech usually isn't doing all that much. So maybe adding something like that could be good. Or you could just chill and have discipline and just not take a lot of trades when the market isn't doing what you want it. But yeah, I have no opinion, expertise. Like I have nothing in future in T futures, T bills. I just don't look at them. So you don't want my opinion, is what I'm trying to say. Like you really don't. I have no clue. You might as well just like ask Grok, Like I don't know, man. I have no. I wanted to stay until like either the right side of V confirmed or next down like started to play. But I might actually just leave you guys in chop. We'll see. I'm not staying here the whole day, so I don't know. Same as before, just rejected those wick highs. Still an inside candles, nothing changing. Offer still maintaining that sweeper from above. Still maintaining slight higher lows, but offer still just sitting above. Nothing, again, nothing really to say. What we're worried about, and the reason why I'm not like calling this a low as of yet, is that this is just, right, a push up into our offer and then a potential continuation down afterwards, where this then rejects, right? And then we get a rotation like this for another leg, which would lead into our target of 580. What we need to see is a continued bid here, and then a rotation above, and then we can look for a reversion to VWAP back up into our previous targets. We're still holding where we need to on the lows, but there's just still no interest above. And without someone being a bit trapped, allowing for new liquidity to be present for, you know, a higher rotation or a lower rotation, it is what it is. Which is just a rotation between this high and this low on NQ. Same thing on ES, this high and this low, right? Which is just this doji here on both markets. Again, we're still holding higher lows, but we're also not doing anything with them. Yeah, just because I'm decent at trading NQ, don't think that that means that I know everything. Don't confuse the two. I've just have a lot of practice trading ES and NQ. I am not a market expert in every section, every field, every ticker. They are different beasts. Get very good at trading one thing. Can you trade NQ in electronic trading hours? Yeah, you can trade Globex. Do I trade Globex? No, not usually. It's not usually not worth your time, but you can trade it during Globex. The moves just take quite a bit longer, and I am a very impatient person. So if we don't have the volatility that I expect, then I leave, because my time means a decent amount to me. And I'd rather not just sit here when I know that the market will have better conditions at a different point and I don't need to waste my time. Which is what I feel like Globex is 90% of the time. It's just waiting for the move to play. I can't be bothered to do that when we can make the same amount of money during regular trading hours, you know, in 5 minutes. I feel like the conversion rate for a Globex trade playing out is like every 5 minutes in RTH is like an hour in Globex, usually. You know, some days Globex is really juicy, but more so often it's not. For how I trade, I should say. I think it's good if you're like a higher time frame trader, right? We get like pretty decent moves in Globex, but they just happen way too slow for me to want to have risk on in the market. Like my entire strategy is like minimal risk for a minimum amount of time. The more time that you have a position open in the market, the more susceptible you are to, you know, risk and for the probabilities to shift from your original trading, from your original trade. Right, like, because remember, like, what we're basing our ideas off of are our most recent buyers and sellers, which can easily change. So we're looking for reactionary bids,
Supreme Court
reactionary
allows
offers
new California voting map for midterms
that allow for these trades to play, and we're looking for rotations back to previous buyers and sellers. So if we're trading based off of, information that's happening now, right? It's going to be very hard to set up for higher time frame trades based off of a reactionary bid that we saw in the 15-second chart. It just doesn't make sense. So it doesn't make sense to be playing off of like reactionary offers like this, where we see our sweeper step down and then playing this back to our bid. Yeah, that makes sense to me for the shorter time frame, because it's a reversion trade with inside of a balance that we recognize between this high, right, and this low. And so as long as that's maintaining, there's no reason to be expecting anything else. And then this would be a risk off into as we push down into this until we see something new. I mean, we'll see if we get anything more. But again, like we've already designated this as a bear flag, as an inside candle. We're watching to see if this flips and can hold our low where this bid has been present over and over and over again. Yeah, but like it would be very hard unless we were up like, a couple 100 points, or nothing's invalidated, for me to want to stay in that trade overnight. The risk is just like way too immense. And there are people who trade like that, who have like 300-point stops or 100-point stops, but I'm not your guy if that's what you want. Even like on a day like today where I have a 30-point stop, like that's a lot. And so like my sizing has to be smaller because I'm risking more. I can't imagine like going to sleep with a position open in the Globex market. Like that just sounds, unless I was already up, like 200 points. Like usually when if I am trading Globex, like I'm closing before I go to bed, and that's when you'll see my posts in Discord about stuff like that. It's like, oh, okay, closing. Because I'm no longer able to manage the position. Bouncing our bid where these POCs have been holding over and over again, retesting our offer from our previous POC here at 91 on NQ for a potential lower high into our 91. Watching our offer as we push into our POC to value of our previous candle. Again, we're watching to see if the seller is going to shift down or the lower high. So we are watching for an offer here now. Right? If sell side is serious, they will move the offer down. If not, then we'll just be playing the same rotation back up. It's the same thing on ES. RTY bounced our lows. Yeah, I mean, I really don't have anything until we break out of this range. Then you'll get a directional decision. It's just chop until proven otherwise. I'm really not looking to stay here for any more of this. So, yeah. Mm. See what happens as we push into these highs. I don't know, this is probably the last rotation I'll watch, and then I'm leaving. I don't know. It doesn't really matter.
Seeing Adobe shares reversing course, last up 3.3%.
Rotations back up to our highs off a hold of our lows, no change. See if we can maintain, or if this is going to actually be able to do something up in these highs. U15's opening now. Into a top of our ranges here. Yes, rejecting previous day value low so far. We're watching to see if we can find a bid here into our highs. or if we're just going to continue to hold this supply and then bear flag and reject down. This is ES ADR and previous day value low. Really important area. See if we can recover or not. Yeah, I'm about to leave as well, Surf. Don't worry. Yep, I'll be here tomorrow. I just felt like absolute crap yesterday. Just slept all day. Sorry about that. I'll see you tomorrow, though. All right. I'm done. I will talk to you all tomorrow. Goodbye.